guys, it's really important that you actually work through a tenancy application. When a prospective tenant has made an application and you're thinking, okay, this one looks good, do you have a worksheet that you're working through? What's the relationship of the applicants? Are they a group of friends that are making the application? Are they husband and wife? Are they siblings? Are they a family? What is it? The sorts of things. There is no set checks that you need on a tenancy application checklist or a worksheet. But you'd go through issues like, have you seen their current driver's license? Are they on TRA or ticker, or have you Googled them? Have you looked on Facebook? They're the ones sort of right at the end if people are looking. But the ones that you would really look at is there a current agent's reference? Is the applicant's name on the previous lease? How long has the applicant been residing at the previous property? Has the lease expired? What's their weekly rent? What date is the rent paid to? Is the rent paid on time? All of those sorts of questions. Does the tenant have pets that they've told you about? Would that agent recommend that tenant to take on another lease? Previous agent. So their current agent, you'd get that sort of information. Their previous agent. Was the rent paid on time? What were the periodic inspections like? Was there ever any tribunal action? Was the bond? Was there a claim on the bond at the end by the landlord? Would the agent recommend the tenant again? If they've been, they're an owner occupier or they're living with someone who owns the property. Again, ask them for council rates or names and addresses. Looking at RP data, if somebody's just sold their property, and then contact the selling agent for, yes, it was their property that we sold. There's so much that you need to be checking. And, look at their current employment. Always speak to someone in payroll. You don't know who you're talking to when you just ring a company. Have a look at their website. Make sure you're actually ringing that company, not someone that they've just given you the phone number for. That you're confirming their employment, you're confirming their pay, their rate of pay, you're confirming how long they've worked at that company. Will there be a subsidy from somewhere for their rent? Is the employee reliable? Those sorts of things. If they haven't been very long at a certain job, talk to a previous employer. Look at any special conditions. Look at, and then look at the holding fees. All of this information is, if something goes wrong down the track, you've actually gone and thoroughly checked that this is an appropriate tenant. When the landlord comes back and says, why did you recommend this person to go into the property? And I went, yes, the landlord says, I went, yes, put that person in that property. And they go, well, now they've trashed my property, or now they haven't paid their rent, or now they, whatever that complaint is, you can go back and say, well, here's a copy of all the checks that we did for the right person to get into your property. We have no control past that. You've done your job. So when you do your job, you actually want some evidence that you've done your job. And having a tenancy application worksheet or a checklist, or however it is you have it running in your office, is a really good protect your agency style of risk management. So really the recommendation there is, make sure that you check your tenant applications, and if there are two people going on the lease, do the check for both people, not just for one. Go, oh, that all turned out well on the first one. Yeah, okay, we'll just let them in. That's fine. The other one should be fine. No, be thorough. This is where the time and the effort that you put into selecting the right tenants will have an impact on what happens down the track. And whether that's complaints from your tenants, or it's complaints from neighbours, or it's complaints from your landlord. You don't need any of that. That just makes life difficult to deal with. So take the time and the effort right there at the beginning of the process to actually help you out and hopefully have a better process through the whole way it's going through. That's enough, I guess, talking about tenancy applications, but it's certainly been an issue we've been talking about with a number of agents this week who are, looking back at how different processes have been done. And certainly if you're taking over the management from somewhere, you want to have something in that file that you're acquiring, some evidence as why that tenant actually was put into that property, so you can actually go back and do some double checks on that.